Okay, so now I've got this guy in here and scaled. I want to start gridding it out and maybe, pick the section and maybe pull it up a little bit and pull it up a little bit. And I kind of realized that this guy, I only want to do one side, right? I don't need to do both sides. So maybe I want to center it here. So I'm just going to pick this image and unclick it, and I'm going to just nudge it over until that one is kind of in the center because I only want that one. It's not necessary, but eventually I think it'll be useful. And it just depends on what kind of hotel room you downloaded and what the image looks like. And then I'll just repin it so it won't move. So now what I want to do is go put grids in that sort of delineate where these walls are, and it gives me a place to pick, right? And it gives me sort of a basis. So under the architecture tab, there is a grid option. So if I click on grid, it's going to give me the grid. It's going to be a 1/4 inch bubble. And I'm going to set my grids kind of on the interior face of the wall. So I'm not going to worry about the thickness of the wall right now. I'm just going to sort of do the interior. We're going to create a shell and then we'll get more refined. So the other thing is, don't worry if you're not exactly on the wall. You can sort of nudge it into place. But what I'm going to do here is just left click and drag up and click, and then change this G by left clicking on it to a 1, right? And hit enter. And then if you zoom in, you can left click on this and select it and kind of nudge it over to the inside. And again, there are some cavities in here, but I'm just going to get the major wall, right? And so the next thing I'm going to do is just pick this guy and sort of copy my way over. So for example, I'll just copy using the copy pick here and just copy over to about right there. And don't worry if you're not exact at first, and then copy to here. And it looks like maybe to there, and then maybe to there. And I'm not exact, like I totally got off on that one, but I'm just not going to worry about that right now. Like I'm going to come in and fix them later. So I'll click this and just kind of left click until it goes to the inside. And then this one, I'll kind of left click. You can get a little closer if you want it to be that. And then this one, I was way off. So maybe I just nudge it over, right? And then you're going to do the horizontal ones, right? So now I'll come in and go to architecture and grid, and I'll start doing the top, right? Like I actually clipped a wall off of this one, which is not great. There's a wall here. So I'm just going to left click kind of up here and drag across and say A here, right? So that'll be my A. And oops, canceled that A. Enter. And then I don't know where that one is. We'll just sort of start it. It looks like it might be about right there. And then I'm just going to copy those down similarly, right? So if I just go to copy and I'll pick here and kind of drag maybe to the inside face of that, right? And then to the inside face of that. And then that's about it for the horizontals except for the final face, right? And then again, I'll come in and adjust these just by this and then sort of using the arrow keys. And again, we don't have to be exact on this. You just want to get it, as close as you think, right? And so, and we can adjust, we will adjust those other ones. I mean, maybe there is another one here, but I'm not going to worry about that for right now. Okay. So once you get those done, then we'll come back and dimension them. Or actually, let's just dimension them now. That's pretty easy. You guys have done this. So I'm going to go to the Annotate tab and Aligned. And I'm just going to go 1, left click, left click, left click, and left click. And just sort of click here. And then I'll do an overall. The one thing I want you guys to do is avoid having like 30 seconds or 1/16 of an inch. If you've got that, then pick one of the grids and change it, and you'll have to sort of move it over a little bit, if you know what I mean. I can show you how that works. Maybe I'll mess one up here. So I'll do the same thing here, right? and then do an overall here. Okay. All right, so let's say that you had a weird dimension. So if this one, let's get in really close and maybe move it down. What is it going to do? So there's an eighth. Here, let's just put it at like 1/32, right? Okay, so if you had a 32nd in there, you see these two setting at 30 seconds and that one's at an eighth. I would just pick the one that this one is fine. So I would just pick the grid here and just come in here and say, oh, I want that to be 13 space 1, right? And it'll do that and then work your way down if there's more. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So come in and do this guy. And then when we get back, we'll actually go in and sort of start drawing floors and walls